7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. I've got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks 3 to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome, Sean and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. Mike. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? It's Hump Day. Woo-woo! Yeah, baby. Yeah. Man, welcome to Sean and Maya in the morning. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra. I am fired up. Had a kick-ass workout this morning. I am fired up. Ready to get at you. Talk some sports. Hope you are ready. Guys, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Sean and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Sean and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on a YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, man. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, baby. What's wrong with you? You got to keep up with the Joneses and them. Not them, and them. The Joneses and them. All right? So, listen, go to where you get your apps from. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from. Just go there, whether it's iTunes or Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworths, Weebolts, Gold Blast. It doesn't matter. Just go there, type in Sports Zone Chicago, download it. Take us with you on a go. So not only do you get Sean and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows, only are the archive there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean, there's a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago. We have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Okay. Put us there next to the big boys. Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Disney Plus, Apple, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Stars. Put us there next to the big boys. So you can watch us on the big screen. Help run the big screen, right, Mickey, Vicky, now. You could also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally, and I want to know what I did, let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Sean Sierra. Listen, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Man, the chat is jumping like crazy. Woo, Charlie. Man, Cornelius Squalls checking in. Says, what up, what up, what up? Sports Zoners. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. Jr.'s checking in. He says, good morning, all. Yeah, Junior. Rick Gonzalez is in the house checking in. So good morning to everyone in Bear to F down, baby. FGB. FGB. What? FGB. Damn right. Cow tipping, cousin kissing Mother Hubbards, inbred Mother Hubbards over there. Patty Lowers in the house. Good morning, Patty. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Little Jeremiah. Jeremiah's in the house. What's up, Mijo? How are you? Jeremiah. Lavette Lee's in the house. Good morning, Mama. Thank you for tuning in. She said, good morning, y'all. Oh, man, Black Diamond is the top of the morning, holding judgment on the draft until the season starts. Black Diamond checking in. Good to see you, Papa. Good to see you. Michelle Wall's in the house. What up on a hump day? That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what yes. Mr. Shode. Top of the morning to you. He goes, I follow Sports Zone Chicago app at the KC General Store. That's what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter where you get your apps from. Just go there, get it, and download it. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Shorty. Brandon Shush checking in. Says, good morning. How are you? I'm doing well, Brandon. Thank you very much. Again, I had a phenomenal workout this morning. Man, I was sweating like a sweater. Woo, Charlie, that was a good one. I felt workouts like those, like today, were good. It gets you alive, baby. It makes you feel alive. I know I was exhausted afterwards. If you saw my post on Facebook, just go, man, I was sweating like a sweater so bad. Like just before I went live, I did my video. I wiped my face with my towel. Okay. About 10 seconds into the video, sweat keeps pouring down my face. It gets caught in my eyelashes. I'm just on the right eye, the first one. It was hilarious. And I wiped my face again. About another 15, 20 seconds later, both eyelashes, beads of sweat. I was like, that is insane. I guess now I know why these girls wear those big, crazy-ass eyelash extensions. They call it something, but I will not use the term. Hey, Black Diamond, don't come on here with that blasphemy, dog. What's all that? Don't blaspheme on here. Do not blaspheme on here, you mister. We will not cue that song, damn it. We will not cue it. Let's see, man. We got everybody exchanging pleasantries in the chat. I love it. My man, Ant Moss checking in. He said, what's up? He says, bear down, Patty. He says, bear down, Shorty. He's going down. He's on the list. Bear down Armando. Bear down Cornelius. Rick. Yes. That's what we're talking. Ant Moss being very friendly this morning. Wherever you get your apps from, baby, that's where you got to go get it. iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your apps from. That's how you go download it. Okay? No, Michelle, no burpees, damn it. Thank God. Thank God, no burpees today. Ooh, Charlie, I was happy. Yeah, Brandon, just look up Sports Zone Chicago, and you'll be able to download it, okay? Black Diamond, you better stop this nonsense, boy. You better stop this nonsense. He says, Shaw, you know that's the song. That is not our song. That is not our song. Oh, man, you guys are killing me. That's what I'm talking about. You starting off the morning right. Brand Shut says, I'll download it later. Thank you. We'll get into that today. Man, we got a great show at 10 o'clock. My man, EJ Snyder, NFL draft analyst, is going to join us. We're going to go over the draft picks again with the Chicago Bears. Also talk about what he feels the Bears could have got. There are a lot of rumors about the Bears. Dan Wiederer, actually, Did I take a snapshot of that? I don't know. I'll see. Talking about the Bears were actually in on some running backs, and they just kept getting beat to the punch. Yeah, I didn't save it. Oh, well. But anyway. So the Bears are looking to do some things. Yes. You know what? That reminded me. Thank you very much. I am going to add that to the queue. Thank you very much, Michonne. Dude. What do you think of the Sox City Connect uniforms and caps? Man, let me tell you something. Those are fire. Fire. Those are fire. Those are fire. I don't know if I mentioned it. Those are fire. Woo-wee. We will talk about those, Michonne. We will definitely talk about those. Black Diamond, they all right. I will tell you what, though. A lot of people are rocking your little Chicago blue new Cub City Connect jerseys. Black Diamond. I'll tell you what, Nike did a good job with your Cub ones, your scrub ones. Much better than that Wrigleyville crap they had last couple seasons. Those are all right. I was watching the game the other day for work purposes, of course. For work purposes, of course. And there are a lot of mugs in the stands with with the sweatshirts, the jerseys, the hats. I was like, okay, I can see you rocking them. My guy Junior and his son Mondo, they like them a lot. And I said that's definitely a much better design than the Wrigleyville ones. Yeah, those are nice, Cornelius. I'll give it to them. They're nice. Those are definitely nice. Nike did a good job because they know, but they did a better job with the White Sox ones are fire. The White Sox ones are fire. I'm telling you, man. Woo-wee. Oh, man, this was awesome. The redness, the red, the black, and if you notice, they got the Bulls hat. I mean, the Bulls colors. They got the hat on it. Man, they're all over. My girl Sierra Santos, she works for MLB Network. She said they got some in the studio. They're supposed to leave them there. She's like, no. She goes, so if it goes missing, just know it's in my closet. That's why I love Sierra, boy. She be repping the South Side. Doesn't matter where she goes, man. She reps the South Side. Remember, she went back to Arizona. She's from Arizona. She went back to Arizona after she left here, after they did her dirty here. And then she was working for Fox over there and then got the call to MLB Network. Everywhere she went, she's been repping the South Side, baby. Everywhere she went. So, yeah. My girl Sierra, definitely good stuff. They are, I'm telling you, I'm pretty happy about this year. We do a good job, or Nike's done a good job for the White Sox and their City Connect jerseys. All right. I've been a pretty big fan of it, of the different ones they have. The Southside ones were tough. Those were tough. Those were tough. And the funny thing is, like, people are like, we look like softball jerseys. I'm like, but that's the whole thing. Like 16-inch softball is a South Side staple. This is a South Side staple, 16-inch softball. I remember playing that at the Vork Park, Harrison Park, and I saw they had leagues with 16-inch softball. It was like that was softball was it on the South Side growing up in the 70s and 80s. So when they said they look like softball uniforms, I'm like, yeah. And that's what's dope about it. It brought back memories for a lot of us from the South Side. A lot of us from the South Side who saw that. Well, yeah, they are, Michon. They're because he owns both teams, so it's an homage. And kind of what Nike did is, remember, a lot of times you would see people mock up different uniforms. Like they would switch colors for their teams. Like say the Giants would switch up with the Yankees, or the Giants would switch up with the Islanders. Well, they have the same colors, red, white, and blue. But they would switch up their colors to another team from the city, but a different sport. And Nike took that and so they'll be wearing them on Fridays, I believe. Fridays at home. Fridays at home. Well, all right, you know what? We'll get right to it. I want to show you the hats. Save photo. I got to show you the hats too, because the hats are dope. They have two different ones. That's the cool part about it. They have two different hats. They got a red one and a black one. Oh, killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. They got him in the United Center. Oh, no, they had him in the Advocate Center, and they released him the other day. But, man, they are tough. Yes. I'll tell you what. Let me get this. There we go. We'll put these up and 1, 2, 3. There we go. So here are the unis. These are the jerseys. They should have just put Jordan's name on there instead of Benintendi, but I get it. These are fire. I just found out. I talked to my plug yesterday, and my jersey guy. I got a guy. I got a guy for everything. I'm a South Sider. I got a guy from Chicago. I got a guy. Got me these jerseys. Can get these jerseys quick, fast in about 2 weeks. Customized. So I'm gonna get my name, Sierra 33, on the back. If you notice in the lower right-hand corner and the front of it, okay, where it says Chicago 23, the lower left-hand corner, they enlarged it here on the left side of the screen. It says Sox, Cubs, and then Shy in the middle. Here are the hats. Louis Robert has a red hat with the White Sox logo. And Will Venable has a black hat with the White Sox logo. They fell off the back of a truck, Shorty. You know how we do in the Shy? Oh, man. So these... And then go to Twitter. They'll have the explanation. All right, the neckline. So inside you can see they have the years for the inside the neckline of the jersey. It has the years of the championship. The white ones are the White Sox in 1906, 1917, and 2005. And then they have 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98. Those are for the Bulls. That's with the neckline, the bread. Featuring the Wing Sox logo. This hat honors the city's champions. In Chicago, in a historic font, or historic first, uniforms features the iconic Bulls letters, symbolizing the shared legacy of the two teams, because Reinsdorf owns both teams. The pinstripes, you can see it says the bold red stripes pay tribute to the Bulls, while the black stripes nod to the South Side's history. The wing sock on the sleeve, a tribute to legends. The symbol soars, representing the city's pursuit of excellence. The pants says Southside, echoing the first City Connect uniform. It honors the heart and hustle of Chicago's South Side, symbolizing its resilience and the generations who proudly wear these colors. Then you see the crossover tag. It says at the lower left-hand corner has the Sox and Bulls logo with Shy across it. These are fire. These are dope. Definitely going to get one of these. Definitely going to get one of these. The red came from, remember, because these are like the Bulls. They crossed over. They used the Bulls colors here. Yeah, this is, I'm telling you, Shorty, I got a guy. Cheap prices come right from China. I better hurry before we start getting, I got to pay the tariff prices. Oh, man. Let me tell you. So those are fire. I got to order mine today. If I do, hopefully I'm going to the game in June, so I'll have it by then. June 5th, I want to say. Mexican Heritage Night. And so they're giving out jerseys, but I'm going to be rocking that bad boy. I'm going to go get the hat. I don't know which one I'm going to get. See, here's the problem. Those hats are expensive. $45-$50 for a hat. Like, I need a guy. So I do have a hat guy, but I'm not really cool with him. He owns a place over on the south side over on Archer. I know him, but I know him through my cousin, so he's not really my guy yet. You know, every time I see him, he's with my cousin. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? We're cool. Cigars, we party together. But his people own it. And I'm like, give me a deal, like 2 for $75. Give me 2 hats for $75. But yeah, those are fire, man. I can't wait to rock those at the Sox game. You don't like them, huh? The hat does not look good, but the jersey is fire. You don't like the hats, huh, Rick? No, huh? You don't like, dude, I think that's dope. The red has the pinstripes and the black are solid. That's dope. All right. Hey, these are their own. I hear you. Junior, why not make uniforms with flames on them for the disco demolition? Maybe that's what the flame's for. Who knows? That's funny. I can see that, Rick. I can see that. But remember, the Red Wings has the tire. Has the tire and the wing. But I get you. And we got the sock and the wing. I hear you. The wings. I get it. I see what you're talking about. So but these are cool. I think these are cool. I love them. I can't wait to rock my jersey. I'm going to order it again today. I'll have it in a couple weeks. Rock that bad boy when I go to the game in June. So I probably won't go to a game before then because they suck. Because they suck. Wow. Really, Shorty, huh? Why don't you use those wings and fly your asses to a different city? Oh, man. Okay. You got jokes, huh? All right. Just like all your Cub fan friends they've flown in from different cities, huh? Little transplants, all your Chad and Becky's. Yeah, I'm such like a Cub fan now. It's like Wrigley is like awesome. Wrigleyville is like the best. We're in Boys Town. We love it. It is Boys Town. Yeah. Hey man, I don't know if you're laughing at Shorty or me. I think you're laughing with Shorty. Make sure you go on a Tuesday for a discount. Yeah, $5 Tuesdays. Yeah, I think that they have the $5 menu. They got a lot of good shit, a lot of good concessions for $5. So I'll definitely make sure to hit that. I'm impartial, Sean or Shane. I'm just messing with you. That's all right, baby. I'm a grown ass man. I could take it. I can pitch. I can catch, but I can also pitch too. Junior says the Cubs could use the Sox help this series. I know Mondo was telling me win a series. Not that I'm trying to help you guys out, but I'd love to beat the Brew Crew. Jealousy among Cub fans. Yeah, dude, because Michelle, these jerseys, they don't get those nice jerseys. This year's City Connect jerseys are nice. This year's City Connect jerseys, Cubs City Connect jerseys are nice. The other ones, yeah. Nike finally did him a favor and gave him a nice jersey. It's rocking that sky blue. The Chicago, the colors of the Chicago flag. Rick says, what's your favorite jersey ever owned? Mine is the Earl Campbell throwback, the baby blue, Houston Oilers. Ooh, nice. I had a couple. I never had a Peyton jersey. I wanted one. I guess I should could order it from my Connect, my plug. But my favorite throwback jersey was I have a Roger Craig one, and I had a Bo Jackson one. I only wore the Bo Jackson one like once or twice, and then I gave it away as a gift because I was running late for a buddy's party, and I didn't have anything to give. I was like, damn. I know who's a big Bo Jackson fan. I'm like, fuck it. I'll fold it back. It still had the creases in it, the folds. It still had the folds in it. So I folded it nice back and neat, put it back into plastic, and I gave it as a gift. The Bo Jackson one. And I still have the Roger Craig one hanging. So that was my favorite. Those are my favorite jerseys ever owned. I like my Matt Forte one. And I got my Matt Forte one. I had a Justin Fields one. All my baseball jerseys have all been customized. So they all say Sierra 33 on the back. I got a Bears one that says Sierra 33 on the back. It would have been nice to have played for the Bears. Sons of bitches. Rod Graves. But I digress. Anyway. Yeah, Rick. Roger Craig is low-key fire. Yep. Oh, no shit. Black Diamond got a Peyton that's clean and a primetime rookie jersey. Oh, yeah. No, Aunt Moss. To the Fields, did you just change the nameplate on the back and now it's JJ? No. It's Justin Fields. Hey, listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we will get to the top of the morning topics. And then I want to get into a situation about this whole Shador thing and these quarterback evaluators. Okay? I want to get into that. And I will on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. Yeah, I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
And what's your assessment of Luther?
Luther, stud. Yeah, I mean, you saw the highlights, right? I mean, he's a playmaker waiting to happen. I mean, went to the same high school, I believe, as Jameson Williams. J-Mo texted me right after we took him, and he said, you got a dog just like me, you know? And so Luther has that same confidence. He's got that same swagger to him. For 6 foot, 200+ pounds, it's rare to see somebody with his movement skills. He can stop on a dime and accelerate just like that. Give him a little bit of space, and he can make big things happen. And so a dangerous player, weapon, call him what you want, but I see big things in his future.
Welcome back to Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those tips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That's our head coach, Ben Johnson. Hold on. Had to get the warden off. It was a little hectic this morning. Sometimes it bees like that, Papa. Oh, my man, King Booker World checking in. What's up, baby? Yes, Junior have a Jimbo Culver jersey. He does. He does have a Jimbo Culver jersey. Nice. Dude, because Jimbo Culver is, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Junior's favorite offensive lineman of all time. All right, and he was a big fan of him coming out of Pitt. He was Dan Marino's stud left tackle at Pitt. The Bears got him. So yeah, that's Junior's favorite. Yeah, sad what happened. Said Deion made too many waves and inflated Scher's ego. But I hope he's been humble enough to put in the work and work hard to thrive. I hear you. Bro, you think so? It says J-Mo wants out of Detroit and wants to come to Chicago so bad. He knows Detroit is sinking. Yeah, I don't. Interesting, Aunt Moss. Interesting. Well, where would we put him? James Ford checking in. Say good morning, Sean. Good morning, James. Appreciate you. And he said, Shorty said, Sean, does eyes remind you of Van Horn or Covert? I haven't seen. I'd say he reminds me more of Van Horn because of his size. Remember, Van Horn was like 6'5", 6'7". Covert was like 6'4", 6'5", if I'm not mistaken. Van Horn was just longer and taller. And you're like, we'll be looking for a replacement for DJ in the future. Yeah, not for another 3 seasons, though. Not for another 3 seasons. DJ. We got time with DJ, baby. We got time with DJ. After the 29 season. We got 5 more seasons with DJ. So, yeah. But anyway. Yeah, so here's No, I think DJ's staying because of the money. Got the highest paid contract, the highest contract ever by a Bear. But anyway, you know, I'm seeing a whole bunch of, this really bothers me. It bothers me a lot. All right, it bothers me a lot. Is I'm seeing a whole bunch of nonsense. All right, and it bugs me because most people who have an issue are old white guys or white guys. And it's bothersome. And they're making these comments, and and I'm trying to find this one dude where he's going off, but it's interesting. And it goes to the cultural, to me, it goes to the cultural differences of black and white people. Okay, one guy's, I don't know who the gentleman is, but the guy says, "Oh, I wouldn't want him on his team. He's not focused. He's not this. He's not that." You know, he references the interaction between him and Cam Ward. And it says he's not a clown. You know, Cam Ward. Apparently Cam Ward doesn't like Shedeur. All right, they're working out together. He's kind of, talking shit to each other, talking shit to him, like, "Oh, we only did one drill. Now you're getting water. Is that how it is in Colorado? Is that how it is over there?" Blah 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 blah. You know, and it's interesting because here, and here's where I'll play this. I'll play this here. And you can listen to it.
I wouldn't want Shedeur Sanders anywhere near my team. There, I did. And then I started seeing videos of Shedeur Sanders. I don't give a rat's whether or not he's black, white, green, or purple. He seems like a child. Maybe he's not. And maybe everybody made a mistake except for the Cleveland Browns. Hey, for the kid's sake, hope so. For Cleveland Browns' sake, hope so. Him or Dylan Gabriel or whomever. But I wouldn't want Shedeur Sanders anywhere near my team. I need serious people as my quarterback. And I don't give a damn if you think that's racist or not. I wanted Sanders. I said the Colts should take Sanders. But the more I've seen of his antics, the more I can say, hey, man, good for you, Cleveland. Go, go, go. Because children do not win in the NFL. Cam Ward, hey, I saw an interaction between Sanders and Cam Ward. That's an adult. That's a serious dude with serious thoughts on his mind. Sanders, a little insecure kid. I don't need that in my quarterback. So what's the conspiracy? I'll tell you the conspiracy. Daddy, a pain in the ass. Kid, a pain in the ass. Kid's talent not good enough to overcome the pain in the ass. It's history. It's every industry. Kid's talent not good enough to overcome being a pain in the ass. Man's talent not good enough to overcome being a pain in the ass. Woman's talent not good enough to overcome being a pain in the ass. Grandfather, white, black, green, or purple's talent not good enough to overcome being a pain in the ass. In every industry, those people get fired. All you got to do is watch Sanders after he gets drafted, out with a rapper, all the crap, opening up freaking money boxes and all the stupid stuff. Now you can say, and this is dumb as well, people don't want strong black men in the NFL. Oh, shut up. Why isn't Cam Ward considered, quote, a strong black man? I think it's much stronger to be focused on your career, to be focused on the job at hand, to have life goals and stay with those goals. I think it is much stronger than acting like a damn jackass. Now, that's just me. That covers white, black, green, purple, old, young, woman, man, whatever. It is far harder to focus on goals every single day and be disciplined every single day than to act like some jackass. But acting like a jackass, opening money boxes, acting like an idiot, you know what? They get the respect, and I don't understand it. I don't care if it's white or black. I don't get it. Easy to walk around like a clown.
All right, the video courtesy of Outkick. And here's what this old get off my lawn dude. And here's my thing. And I was in a conversation, everybody says, oh, it's not a race thing, it's not this, it's not that. Why do everyone jumps to the race car? And I said, well, because race plays a part in almost everything in society. That's first and foremost. People don't realize that unless you've been on the short end of that stick, you won't realize it. Unless you've been discriminated against in every facet of your life from birth, you wouldn't realize it. Okay? Most people don't know about redlining. Okay? Most people don't know about the Tuskegee experiment. Okay? Most people don't know about the Chattanooga appendectomy, hysterectomies. We don't know. Most people don't know that. So he's speaking from a place of privilege. Now, mind you, I am not going to, and I will clarify this first and foremost. I do not condone Shedor's actions. All right, he screwed himself to a certain extent. His behavior was was immature. Okay, his comments were silly. Okay, his comment, he's entitled, but it's a different era of players. Caleb was the same way, except Caleb knows how to keep his mouth shut. Okay, so when you speak you're speaking of this, you're speaking from a place that's not a place of ignorance where he doesn't know. Okay, he talked about talent not good enough. That's bullshit. You know why? I posted this yesterday. So many people, even a good buddy of mine who's one of the top quarterback coaches in the country now, J.J. McCarthy's personal quarterback coach since he was in 6th grade. Even he went on it and said it's about talent. It's not about race. And he's wrong. Why? I'll explain why. Diana Rossini, she worked for ESPN. Now she works for The Athletic. She reported yesterday, I think it was on her podcast, that for the majority of the season, the New York Giants had Shedeur Sanders as the number one player on their big board. It means overall, all the talent, all the people that they had, he was number one overall. At the end of the season, I guess Cam Ward might have been, but nonetheless, when they realized that Cam Ward was going to probably go to the Titans, Shedeur Sanders was their primary target before all this, before the combine, before this. Okay. So my question to you is this, and everyone's coming out, oh, I didn't have him rated as I didn't have him, his arms, they're going off on all these different things. But if Brian Daboll, a renowned quarterback and offensive guru, have him as the top number one overall prospect on their big board, he's going to be the only one? A guy who's developed quarterbacks. Go look at Josh Allen. A guy who's developed quarterbacks has him as the number one overall, number one on their big board. He's the only person in the NFL who would have him on there. He's the only person who thinks he'd be number one. That's the only organization that had him as the number one on their big board. So if this guy who's an offensive guru, has him as their number one on their big board, it's not about talent. And again, I get it. Deion's comments were inflammatory and hurtful. They hurt his Shador's status. Shador's comments and his ill-preparedness hurt him. Deanna Rossini also said he treated those visits with the teams as if it was a recruiting trip instead of a job interview. And that's on Shador. That's on Shador. But you mean to tell me there are 5 better quarterbacks? Hold on, Rick. Rick, when Josh Allen got to Buffalo, they wanted him out after his first year. They were screaming. You know, Buffalo Bills Mafia they don't care. They will scream. They wanted Josh Allen out of here. They called him a bust. Then Brian Daboll gets there, and all of a sudden shit turns around. Then shit gets turned around, and Josh Allen becomes what he's done, becomes who he is. His first year there, man. Okay, I'm just looking at the comments. Yes, and Daboll left, and Josh is still great because of the coaching that Daboll instilled in Josh. Like the first year that Josh was by himself when Brian Daboll left, he struggled a little bit. Then he came back up. What I'm saying is these guys are given the respect for turning offenses and quarterbacks around. So if he had him as his number one overall on their board, other teams probably had him too. So that even if he's not a number one on your board, if he's not number one overall, he's still a first round talent. So everyone jumping out of the woodworks now saying, I didn't have him rated as a number one talent. Now you're coming out and saying it. Now you're coming out and saying it because you want to hop on. Here's the agenda for people. Here's their agenda. It's easy to pile on shit. Then he's talking about the post-game party with Shador and the rapper. He didn't like it. Well, listen, some people celebrate differently. I'm not a big fan of it. But having a party, a lot of people had parties. They had house parties, and he had a party. This guy doesn't come from where Shador comes from. This guy obviously didn't grow up with money. Shador Sanders has grown up a millionaire his whole life. Why? Because his dad has been a millionaire as long as Shador's been alive. They act different. They move different. In this younger generation, they do feel entitled. I'm not a fan of it. Caleb Williams, same thing. I'm not a fan of it. But it is what it is. Kids are a brand now. They understand branding and marketing. They understand it. But you have a problem because he comes from money and partying after. This is one of the most important moments in his life to be drafted. You know how many people get drafted? A minuscule amount compared to the number of people who play high school ball. First, you got to play high school. Then you got to play college. Then you have to go to the combine. Then you got to get drafted. There's only 200 and something guys who get drafted every year out of thousands of college players in the draft. Then he said he talked about he wants a guy who's focused on his career and life goals. Why can't you party and still focus on your goals after you've been drafted? Why does him partying with rappers? How does that show that he's not focused on his goals? You talk to any of Shador's teammates, they love him. All of his teammates go to bat for him. All of his teammates have his back. And it's not the case with every single quarterback. He's focusing on his life goals. He's celebrating. He just accomplished a milestone that tons of people never get to. And you're mad because he's partying a certain way that it's different from you? There's the cultural differences that I talked about. He's partying a different way than this guy would celebrate, and had he been drafted. He's talking about focusing on your goals. How do you know he's not focused on his goals? He's actually this was the and he's celebrating. Don't you celebrate goals? You just celebrate them different. You don't party with rappers because you're not a black guy. You're a old white guy. But because of who he is and because of his upbringing, because of what he did, the hype that Deion and Shedeur and Travis Hunter brought to Colorado, they move in different circles. And so him celebrating in a way that's different from the way you would celebrate has no bearing on his determination to be great. None. So he talked about being a clown. And hey, listen, when you're working out, he asked about if you want to shoot video. And Cam Ward is like, no, I want to be known for playing football. Listen, when I've worked out, me and Junior will tell you, we laugh, we joke, we make fun of each other. And I think Cam Ward, and I don't know Cam Ward's socioeconomic status. I don't. But if he comes from a tough upbringing, which a lot of kids do, then sometimes they don't play around. They are focused. And maybe he just doesn't like Shedeur. Okay? And he talked about, he's a real man. He's a real man. No, if you're focused and you come from poor upbringings, man, you have a different attitude. Shedeur has been a millionaire his whole life. He's not trying to move his family out of the hood. He grew up in private schools. He grew up in mansions, gated communities, helicopter rides. His dad, a Hall of Famer, was his coach since he was like 12 or 13. It's different. So don't sit there and shit on him and saying, oh, well, he's not focused. He's not this. So you can't sit there and say something. Well, let's shoot a video. Let's do this. But they show that one thing. So from that one conversation, that one question, you seen he's full of shit. Then you question it. Then all of a sudden people question his athleticism. Well, he didn't have elite athletic talents. He's a drop back quarterback. He's not a running quarterback. So now before, when black quarterbacks were running quarterbacks, that was held against him. Oh, he's a running quarterback. He can't throw. So now you got a pure drop back quarterback. Now he doesn't have athletic traits. They talk about his arm. They talk about everything else. And I'm like, wait a minute. This guy took a 1-win program and in 2 years had 9 wins. Name me the last quarterback in the Power 5 who did that. And you can say Travis Hunter was a big part. Sure, definitely was. But Travis Hunter so him throwing the ball, everything was Travis Hunter? No, I don't buy it. So it's interesting how people see that. And then these quarterback gurus full of shit. You can't evaluate quarterbacks. Here's why. You don't know what's inside a person. You can evaluate specific physical traits of a quarterback, but you can't evaluate how a quarterback's going to be in the NFL. Because there's so many different factors that fall into where, look at Mitch Trubisky, look at Justin Fields. You need a good organization. You need a good play caller. You need a good offensive line. You need a good offensive line coach. You need good weapons. You need good, depending on the weather. There's so many different things. So people come in, look at all the number one quarterbacks, these gurus and talent evaluators. Look at the Tim Couches, look at the Jamarcus Russells, look at all these guys that are number one overall picks. But these gurus were saying, oh, this guy's the best. Look at the difference between Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. Some people had Ryan Leaf better than Peyton Manning. So it's kind of a crapshoot. So stop with I had this grade. It's difficult. It's almost impossible to evaluate a quarterback because you don't know what's up here. You don't know the situation he's going to. So when people say, well, it's funny. And it bothers me because now everyone's coming out. Well, I didn't have him as a first round talent, but Brian Daboll did in New York. And if Brian Daboll, an offensive mind, did, I can guarantee you other teams did too. And if they didn't have as the number one on overall, like New York did for most of the season, like Diana Rossini reported, other teams probably had him. They had him as a first-grade talent. But now everyone's coming out saying, I didn't have him after all this happened. And again, I am not absolving him from his lack of preparation, his unpreparedness when he had the meeting with Brian Daboll. I'm not absolving him from that at all. He screwed up big time, and he got humbled. But it's just interesting now that everyone's coming out of the woodwork saying, well, I didn't have him as a first-round grade. Well, a lot of NFL teams did. And I'm saying this because this is from Diana Rossini, who got the information from the Giants. So now analysts who are jumping to say that, so you don't have him as a first-grade talent, but Brian Daboll, an offensive mind, a well-respected offensive mind in the NFL, has him as a first-round talent. Number one on their board for most of the season. Don't get me wrong, and it bugs me because people talk about, and I mentioned, the Mannings did the same thing. My son's not going here. My son's not going here. But now that Deion said it, now there's an issue. It bothers me. No one said anything about Eli. You know the problem? Eli and Archie, they weren't as braggadocious and loud about it as Deion and Shedeur were. Because they did the same thing. They manipulated the same thing. John Elway, same thing. I'm not playing for the Bucks, Tampa Bay. I'm not going there. I'm going to play baseball. All these people who've done it in the past, it was okay. Now that Deion and his son are doing it, now it's an issue. Now he's hanging with rappers afterwards. He's opening things in money. Well, guess what? You didn't come from money. He did. This is a new era. And I'm not saying I would have celebrated like that because I wouldn't have. But this is the new era of athlete. So it just frustrates me at how so many people are shitting on this kid, this young man, for this, and he got punished. Lost millions of dollars. And don't get me again, some of it was his fault. His fault. Some of it's his own doing. I'm not going to absolve him from that at all. But what, the 6th, 7th quarterback gone? They picked the shock guy in front of him? Come on, man. This dude was bouncing balls at the combine. Bouncing balls to receivers. And Shedeur had 4,000 yards passing, brought a 1-win program to 9 wins in 2 years. When does that happen? Come on. And then people get mad because, oh, it's not. And then Boomer Esiason the other day came and talked about, said a lot of owners, not just players, not the GMs, owners that take them off the board. That's why I told my people, someone said, why didn't Pittsburgh grab him? I'm like, it might be over Mike Tomlin's head. I think Pittsburgh would have been a great spot for him. I said, this is probably over Mike Tomlin's head. And here, Boomer Esiason came out and said it. Some teams took him off their board as per their owner demanding it. I hope he does well. I hope he uses it as fuel. I hope he's been humbled enough to really put in the work and become a top-notch quarterback, an all-pro. I really do. Otherwise, it was all for naught. But let me take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to have a good friend of mine, a good friend of the program's, NFL draft analyst. We're going to talk to him about this whole thing. In addition, the majority of these is going to be to talk about our Bears. That's for real. But I want to get his take on the whole Shedeur Sanders situation. All right, my man EJ Snyder is going to join us on the other side of the break. All right, he's the creator of Bootleg Football. Again, NFL draft analyst. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
can mesh together.
Listen, we talked about it. The moment the players got back into the building, call it 3 weeks ago now, it was going to be a competitive environment. There is no depth chart right now. If you want to play, you got to go earn it. If you want a role, you got to go earn it. They know that. So we were very straightforward and honest with them when they came into the building. I think all we did this weekend was we might have just turned up the notch, just a couple of dials for certain people in the building. So that's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. That's where you bring out the best, not only in your team, but in each individual. So what I'm going to be curious to see is what guys look like when the ball's not in their hands on offense. Okay? Yeah, you're right. We have a lot of weapons. And so how are you going to run your route when you might not be number one in the progression? Okay? How are you going to block for your teammate when he has the ball? Because if you do those things right, then as a coaching staff, we're going to want to get you the ball a little bit more. So it all ties together. It all goes hand in hand, and that's the beauty behind it.
Welcome back to Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That's the man, 50 grand or 13 mil grand. Ben Johnson talking about competition. There's a crazy idea. Compete for your job. Oh, my God. There's a novel concept. Don't just hand people jobs and say it's yours. Have them compete, because that's life. Life is a competition. You're going for a job, you're competing against other people. You're trying to holler at that girl. Guess what? You're competing against other guys trying to holler at that girl. Okay? Everything in life is a competition. And I like the fact that he's doing that and he said from Jump Street, when they got in there 3 weeks ago, he's telling them you are competing. End of story. No depth chart. I love it. My next guest, good friend of the program, fired up to hear what he has to say about our Bears and their draft class from 2025, what he thinks about it. All right. You can find him on Twitter at FootballEJ. Guys, just welcome back to Sean and Maya, EJ Snyder. EJ, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate your time, man. I know it was a busy time for you, and you're just finally able to exhale leading up to the draft, right after the draft. That's a crazy time for you, my man. Crazy.
Yeah, almost. Not quite there yet.
Not yet,
but,
huh?
we're tapering. We're tapering. We're getting there. By Thursday or Friday, full sleep, maybe a little bit of rest. We'll see.
Okay, good. Well, the Bears just had their draft pick. The NFL concluded the draft. The Bears had a couple of interesting selections, and I want to get your thoughts on it, on the Bears just draft class. And I know we can't evaluate it until a couple of seasons and see how they play, but in regard to the talent that the player has and filling a need that the Bears have, let's get your thoughts on it. They drafted what was kind of a surprise for some people. Okay, Colston Loveland was the number 2 tight end on many people's boards, but he was also the number 1 tight end on a lot of people's boards. What do you think of the pick? Is this a good pick for the Bears?
I do think it's a good pick for the Bears. And on my board, he was in the same tier as Tyler Warren. I think he has a very similar talent, but they're very different players. They're utilized differently. They have different physical skill sets. The reason I think Ben Johnson probably looked at Colston Loveland and said, that's the guy I want at that position, is because what he excels in is the passing game. He is a great route runner. He's got a very big frame. He catches the ball away from his frame with his hands. Some people have said he's a terrible blocker. He's not a good blocker, but he has the potential and he has the want to. And I think the want to is the important thing. He's also a 21-year-old dude. Like, he's got room to grow physically. He's, 245 pounds, I think, right now. He's probably going to end up in his NFL playing career around 255 or maybe even 258. He's got the frame to take it. He is not done growing yet. Very fluid, very good feel against zone. I think when you saw McCarthy at quarterback the year before, you saw more down the field stuff because that accuracy sort of unlocked that. He was still getting open on those routes this last year, but quarterbacking wasn't able to take advantage of it. So it's not like he really regressed as a player. They did regress as an offense, and that certainly took some of the shine off it. A bunch of people worried about the shoulder injury, but again, that was worked on before the combine in order to get him ready as soon as possible for rookie minicamp or OTAs, or as soon as he could be. So he missed as little time as possible. So the other thing is the way the board fell, this was probably the best way out for the Bears. 10 was a tough spot. There weren't 10 blue chip players in this draft, and 3 tackles go off the board by 9. A lot of people called this a nightmare scenario. It's just a scenario you get dealt. You can put a sort of subjective label on it if you want, but I think coming out of it with Colston Loveland, again, my sticky note for the first round was come away with a good football player. And I just wanted them to do that no matter how they got it, whether it was a trade down or staying in the spot, trading up even, just get a good football player. And they did that. So I think that's a success for the Bears in the first round.
I'm a big fan of it. I like Tyler Warren, but when they got him, I had been hearing a lot of talk about Colston Loveland weeks leading up to the draft. And so I started watching some of his tape. I'm like, wow, he's more fluid than Tyler Warren. And that's no disrespect to Tyler Warren. A lot of people think because you compliment someone else, it means you're shitting on the other person. And it's not. Right? I think he's more fluid. And I think the best way to describe him, he's a wide receiver in a tight end's body. What would be a great way to describe him. And I think when Ben Johnson saw him, and he's like, that's my Sam Laporta. That's my Sam Laporta. And if he has any type of career like Sam Laporta had, this offense is going to be humming because Ben Johnson knew how to use him, and now he got one of those guys. And let's not forget, this is Ben Johnson's offense. This isn't the West Coast. It's not. It's a hybrid of various offense. This is one that Ben created. So why should we question the guy who knows what's talent would fit best in his offense? So I started looking at him like, wow, this could be a great pick. 2 tight end sets, him and Cole Kmet. I like this young man. He's humble. He's a hard worker, and he's tough. Jim Harbaugh doesn't recruit busters and soft players. All right, Jim Harbaugh recruits tough guys, so I was happy about it. What about the second pick, Mr. Burden? That took everyone by surprise. I think they're looking for a running back, and according to multiple reports, I know Dan Reeder here in the Tribune said that the Bears were looking to trade up in the first round for a running back, maybe Ashton Jency, but it kept going. Had he been at a certain spot, they had a package together for him, but he didn't last to that spot. And they said that Luther Burden just happened to fall. Give me your thoughts on this guy who looks like the perfect Amon-Ra St. Brown clone that was in Detroit.
I'm going to defer to what you said on the first pick on the second pick, which is this is Ben Johnson's offense, and Ben thinks he can get a lot out of Luther Burden. And I'm going to trust him on that. He gets benefit of the doubt for everything he's done over the last 3 years on offense in the NFL and identifying a skill set. So I don't love it, but I don't have to love it. Ben loves it, right? Everybody says Luther Burden's going to be his Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're very different players in terms of the way they generate yards. And the comps that I had for Luther Burden, although he's a better version of it, are a lot of players that the NFL has brought in and said, we need to make these players space. Like, this is how they'll thrive. If we make them space, they're going to be amazing. Those players typically don't work out very well in the NFL. We're talking about Kadarius Toney. We're talking about Laviska Shenault. We're talking about Velus Jones. We're talking about guys that have a very solid build, almost a running back type build. And Luther Burden has that. It's one of my favorite things about him is a lot of people look at him and they look at his skill set and they think he's a small guy. He's not a small guy. He's over 6 feet.
I thought he was 5'8", 5'9", and I was like 6 feet.
He's 6 feet. He's over 200 pounds. He's super well built. He can take punishment. That's great. It's a very natural thing to say he's Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's not. He is nowhere near as a precise route runner down the field as Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's a hallmark of St. Brown's work. And really, I think the type of receiver that wins more quickly and more easily in the NFL is that polished guy that can win off the line, which Luther Burden can do, at the break point, which he's not as good at, or at the catch point. And Luther Burden's not awesome in a contested catch situation. So I'm going to default to Ben and say Ben knows what he wants. He sees the skill set. He thinks he can unlock Luther Burden's second to last season at Missouri, which was very, very impressive. Not this last year where he struggled a bit more. The quarterbacking wasn't great, but it wasn't all that. Like, there were definitely routes he quit on. there were some things that I didn't love about his tape. So I think he was probably BPA for the Bears at this point. He wouldn't have been BPA for me because it's a fundamental difference about what I want out of that slot receiver position, where that's definitely where he's going to play. But I know Eli Drinkowitz, the coach at Missouri, loves Burden. One of my favorite things about Burden, I should say, so it doesn't sound like I'm crapping on him, because I'm not. He's a good player. He just wasn't my favorite in this role, is that Burden has a little bit of that clutch gene. And he's done it for multiple years. This isn't one big game or anything else. Like when they needed a play at Missouri and they had to go down the field, Luther Burden found a way to make it happen. It wasn't always pretty. A lot of times it was, he'd get a little bit of separation. The ball would be underthrown. He'd turn it into a back shoulder and just win through really ugly contact, stay up and score. Like those are just things that athletes do in big moments. And he does those things. So I really like that about him. I like his size. I like his competitiveness. I just didn't think in terms of the way that Ben really designed his offense for that slot receiver position that he would have been the first one off my board. They obviously think so. They're very happy about it. And again, I'm going to give Ben the benefit of the doubt here.
And we should. And one of the knocks on him I heard he's kind of a diva. If he doesn't get the ball a lot, that, he hasn't, he could be problematic. And hopefully that's not true. Or hopefully he grows up and realizes I got DJ Moore and I got Rome Odunze. I gotta know my role, jabroni, and shut my mouth. and the best way to get the ball is to get open. The best way to get the ball is to run precise routes, run good routes, and get open. Because the quarterback's best friend is the open receiver. If you can get yourself open, quarterback will most likely find you. So hopefully the rumors and the rumors that I heard about him being a diva and difficult if he doesn't get the ball a lot, hopefully they're false or the narrative changed because he's grown up. I hope he does. I just want him. He's a guy that can push it down the field, and I like how he's able to stop and start. I had another clip. I played it yesterday. Another clip where he talks about Ben Johnson talks about Burden. Same thing you said. 6 feet, 200 pounds. He said, I love the way he can stop and starting and accelerate and get to full speed quickly at his size. And someone comped him with Debo with speed. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Maybe the body build, same type of body build and everything. So that I'm excited to see just more and more assets for Ben Johnson and more weapons for Caleb. The next one was a little interesting. I don't know. This is Ozzy Trapillo. Give me your thoughts on him on this selection, because
Yeah, this draft was a lot of, and a lot of people said it was bad because of that. And I don't think so. I think it was really a meat and potatoes draft. And, Ozzy Trapillo is a meat and potatoes player from this draft. And that's not a bad thing for the Bears. I think Ozzy Trapillo is better than what the Bears were running out at their third tackle last year. So they needed to upgrade their swing tackle. There was no question about that. We all saw what happened when Kieran was forced into a starting role, which really wasn't fair to him. Everybody knew he was going to need a year, and he got pressed into service in the middle of his rookie year, and it was bad. It was bad. So they couldn't honestly take the field again and say, hey, that's our plan. Even if Kieran's made, pretty big jumps, which I hope he has as a young player. Everybody said he needed that year. Maybe he's taken advantage of that, but that's, hope is not a plan. And Ozzy Trapillo is a plan. And he is a massive human being. He's 6'8". He's one of the tallest guys in the draft. And he doesn't play with a super fluid style, which you'd expect for a guy his size. He's just very hard to get around, and he's a skilled tackle. So I'm okay with it. I'm fine with this. They needed it. There weren't really better options available. Again, tackles went off the board faster than people expected. I don't know if we can call it faster anymore, because they always go off faster than people expect. And if that's the way they go, is that really faster than you expected? Maybe your expectations are slow. So this was the guy that was available, was going to upgrade their program. It is not a sexy pick, but if you understand that the trenches have to be solid, or Caleb's got no chance, the trenches have to be solid, or Ben Johnson's offense has no chance, then Ozzy Trapillo's selection makes a lot more sense.
Okay. I would have liked to have gotten Ariante Ursary, kid out of Minnesota. And I said it quite a few times. The offensive lineman of the year in the Big Ten. They had a survey with the Big Ten players, and him and I think Josh Simmons was either tied for first or a close second of the two toughest linemen to get by. I don't know why they didn't do that. And again, not my definitely wouldn't have been my decision. And I wonder how much bias, Boston College bias, has to do with it. All right, one being Ryan Pohl's alma mater, two, him playing with Trapillo's dad at Boston College. You know, makes for a good story. So I don't know how much, but I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me. What's your take on them not getting a running back? Because there were talks about them maybe getting Trevion Henderson. He went right before. Is it right before him, or is it before?
Yeah, well, they did get a running back, but they got him in the 7th round, and we'll talk about him. I'm sure
Yes.
He's one of your favorites. But it's when you set up a draft strategy. Maybe they wanted a running back early. I know that they were trying to trade up for Genty. They called multiple teams about that. And yeah, they had potential deals. If this happens, if your guy's not there, if you don't trade up, if Genty's there, what would it cost? They had those in place with at least a couple of teams. And everybody knew that they were trying to get up and get Ashton Genty. It didn't work out that way. I understand that. But there were running backs all the way down this board, and they chose not to pick them. And that's okay. They could have picked a running back, in the spot where they got Luther Burden. And I think a lot of people thought they would if they didn't choose a running back with their first round pick. I really think people thought some total of 39 and 41 would become a running back.
I did as well.
Yeah, I think most people did. And it didn't happen. There were multiple chances throughout this board because the running back class was very good and very deep. They wait all the way until the 7th round to get Kyle Monaghan out of Rutgers. I like Kyle Monaghan. He's a good player, but it's not what people were expecting. And what it leads me to believe is that the Bears are going to add a top flight running back before the season, but I probably believe before training camp. So there's been a lot of smoke about Nick Chubb. There's certainly been a little bit of smoke around guys like Kenneth Walker, who are in the last year of their deal. Bears drafted another the Seahawks drafted another high quality running back. So that raises questions naturally. J.K. Dobbins is on the street. He played well last year. I think the Bears are not done at running back because they didn't select one high. If they had, those conversations wouldn't be occurring. They didn't up high. Those conversations are occurring.
I was hoping they'd get one. I wanted one of those guys, either Quinshon Judkins or Trevion Henderson. Probably I was big on Trevion Henderson, so I found out he was 5'9", 5'10", 200. I'm like, give me a 6-foot guy. Give me a different type of running back. Then I didn't want another 5'9" running back. We have one, DeAndre Swift. And although I think DeAndre Swift and Monaghan are different styles, I still don't like 2 5'9" running backs. Give me a different type of dude. And that's what I was hoping for, a bigger back. Talk to me about this guy. This guy's got me intrigued. It kind of got the hair on my arm standing up a little bit, and that's Shamar Turner. Talk to me about him and his mean streak, his motor, and can that be corralled and used properly to have him become a force here?
I sure hope so, is my answer. This is where the Bears draft really turned for me. We live stream every pick over on Bootleg, and I have to work for this one. I do not see it with Shamar Turner. He was way down my board, and a lot of credit for that, if you're giving credit for that, goes to the Texas A&M defense. They made everybody look worse. Like Nick Scorton looked like a force at Purdue. He transferred, he put on weight, he went to Texas A&M. He still looked good, but he did not look like Purdue Nick Scorton. The year before Scorton got there, Shamar Turner played his position out on the edge. He was lighter. He looked better. A lot of people are saying he looked great. I don't think he looked great. He looked better. Then he, moved inside so that they could have their best lineman on the field. He bulks up to about 290. And I thought he disappeared for long stretches. He's also suffered from injury and he doesn't finish a lot, which again, rushing from the defensive tackle spot, it's hard to finish. There's very few of those guys and they go up high. So the Bears feel like they're getting a value here at 62. I feel like they overplayed their hand because now they're saying this guy that you picked at 62 is a projection, because the confusion comes from, if you look at their depth chart right now, the numbers don't work out. If Turner's a DT, they're overloaded at DT and understaffed at defensive end or edge. So I think they probably think, hey, he was better at 270, 275 playing defensive end. We're going to slim him down and move him out. And then your numbers even out. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. That's probably his better role. But I was not wild about this guy. And a week before the draft, which again, you're in the middle of smoke season, it's tough to tell what's real and what's not. Bruce Feldman did his survey of college coaches and said a lot of people really liked Turner. A lot of NFL coaches were excited to work with him. They really wanted some of the attributes he brings, that nastiness and whatever else. And I understand that. But I went back at that point because I was like, maybe I'm missing something on Turner, because I was definitely lower on him than a lot of people. And typically when I hear that happens, especially close to the draft, I'll go back and I'll do a rewatch and say, okay, what did I miss? I might have watched this guy 2 months ago. Is there something that I didn't see or a game I didn't get to? And I went back and rewatched Turner, and it basically reaffirmed everything that was in my report, that I was not that high on him and I would wait to select him. I would allow another team to take that chance, in the words of Ben Solak. And I would have been happy if somebody else had. I was very happy when somebody else took the chance on Shamar Stewart, and then it came back around to bite me and Shamar Turner ends up a Bear. So I hope that this young man slims down a little bit, gets his chance at defensive end, fits perfectly for Dennis Allen. I believe they think that's what's going to happen, or they wouldn't have selected him. 62, still a premium pick. I would have gone in a different direction here, multiple other directions. They go with Shamar Turner. I really do believe he's going to be a defensive end in Chicago, and we'll see if all that potential and projection and everything else pays off in Dennis Allen's system.
I hope so, because if he does slim down and he plays a position that he excelled at more in college, like you said, the numbers even out, and then the competition evens out, because you still have Austin Booker over there, who he went through his rookie struggles, but for me, Austin Booker was always around the ball.
Yeah.
He was coming, and he might not have made the tackle, but he was always in the picture. He was always in the frame. And he chased plays down from behind. And that was the one thing that I noticed. One of the first things I noticed about him was this sucker, he's got a motor. He chases plays down. You talk about pursuit. And as a former defensive coordinator, I loved pursuit. Because you never know. Get in the frame. Because you never know if this guy gets tackled. Two guys could have him wrapped up, and then for whatever reason he breaks free. I wanted all 11 guys to the ball carrier. But he did that on a consistent basis last year, and I noticed it right away. And I'm like, okay, so he's not making tackles per se, but he's hustling, and has nothing to do with talent. That has to do with desire and want to. And give me a guy who has desire, and obviously he's got talent, because they wouldn't have jumped back in the draft in the draft for him. So now he just got to put it together. So if you get him, and then you have Shamar Turner in there competing, man, it's going to make this defense even better. You got two youngsters, fighting for, in a rotation on a defensive end spot. I like that kind of party. I like that kind of party a lot. So good stuff. Let's talk about the running back. Me being a former running back, give me your thoughts on Kyle Monangai. I like this dude. I think he reminds me of a poor man's Ashton Genty. He's got phenomenal contact balance. He's violent. Man, don't bring your ass up in the hole on a blitz, because he will step up and handle blitz pickup. And to me, that had the hair on my arm standing up. That made me super duper excited that this kid is that tough. And to me, that's with that skill set, he's going to be on the field. He'll be on the field a lot, because you don't have to worry about him not picking up in pass pro, because it seems like he almost likes it.
Oh, he definitely likes it. This is a Jersey kid through and through, super tough, stayed home, always been underrated because of his size and his arm length. He is compact in stature, but he is built, make no mistake. He brings it in pass pro, one of the better pass protecting running backs in this draft. I really like his feet. He's got great feet. That always, it's a super attractive quality for me on running backs. Very, very quick. His cuts are instantaneous. One-step cuts, doesn't drop any speed. Very quick through the hole because of it. Might be patient to it, but when he decides, man, instant turn of direction. And I love that. He does top out, doesn't have a ton of speed, does run with power. Yeah, again, he's a small target, harder to hit, lowers his shoulder, brings his pads to contact. I love all that. And he's got good vision. He very rarely makes the wrong choice, which again, at his size, he really can't afford to, but he does. He makes the right choice. So I'll give him credit for that as well. So there's a lot of short area between the tackle stuff that I think Kyle Monangai is going to be great at. And again, you mentioned it, good in pass pro. Not super threatening in the pass game. He's not a guy you're going to throw to down the field for the most part. Again, in the short pass game, he can be very difficult to keep with. If you match a linebacker with him, he's going to be able to beat him out of the break. Again, you better put the ball right on him, and I think Caleb can. You need to be accurate. He does not have a huge wingspan in terms of hauling balls in that are off his frame. But, useful player. He's going to be competing on special teams. Again, he's got the want to. He's got the stature. Bottom line, any player you pick in the 5th, 6th, 7th round has to compete on special teams. So he's going to be good there. It's nothing against Monangai. I like Monangai. Like you said, he is a fun player. He is an easy player to root for, and he does have a skill set. But waiting until the 7th round in this draft, which was loaded with running backs of multiple and varied types who have all kinds of different skill sets and could bring more pop to your offense, really leads me to believe that the Bears, unless they're incredibly high on Roschon Johnson, and I hope they're higher on Roschon Johnson than the last administration was, but unless they're incredibly high on Roschon Johnson, like they're bringing in more talent in this running back room. There is going to be another back. DeAndre Swift was with Ben Johnson in Detroit. He knows exactly what he was, right? They were not, they allowed him to leave, right? That's not what you do with a back that you are going to, stake your offense on. So I believe they're going to bring in more competition, and it's going to be at the higher end. It's not going to be cast-offs. It's not going to be guys down the board, special teams competition. They already have those guys. They're going to bring in another lead dog and see if he can be the guy that they lean on in offense. I deeply believe that. I'll be very surprised if we get to the end of August and they haven't made a move in that direction. It means that they are incredibly high on both Swift and probably Roschon, because otherwise you either draft one more highly or you bring one in.
I'm not high on Roschon Johnson anymore. I don't like his running style. I'm great with the short yardage situations that they bring him in to use him in. I'm cool with that. But as a lead back, as a bell cow, even in a rotation, I just don't like the way he runs. I think he runs a little too jittery for me. Like he looks like he's always trying to, as he gets through the hole, he's still going kind of sideways, back and forth. I'm like, run, like stop looking for contact and run. You know what I mean? Like, and that bugs me. Watching running backs run like that. Like you're looking to hit somebody, there's nobody there. Run, right? Wait till they get close, and that bugs me. And I had a feeling about him, because when the most important thing and the thing you repeat about this guy is his character. You didn't even talk about his football thing. That's all I talk about. He's a great guy. He was character. I'm like, okay, that's great, but what about his football? Oh, he's a good guy, but his character, he's a great character guy. Oh, he makes me want to be a better person. Like, I don't need no, give me a jag bag sometimes. Sometimes you need a jag bag, a few of those on the team, not just great character. So I think Roschon is I'm not high on him, and I hope Monangai can come in and really do a number. Like I said, from what I saw, I just thought he's a poor man's slower version of Ashton Genty, a little slower. So we'll see, because it is a position I think is going to be very useful in this offense. You getting people, and I like Monangai because his cuts are sharp. My goodness, his cuts are sharp. We're going boop, and he's gone. And he hits you, and you go flying. He cuts, and I love that about him. There's a lot I like about this guy. I hope he uses the 7th round as motivation. Hope he uses Isaiah Pacheco as inspiration to play another guy from Rutgers who got taken late in the draft and became the bell cow for the Chiefs, a championship team. So I hope it, because I hope he uses that as fuel, because I really like this kid. There's a lot I like about him. I just wish he was 5'11", 6 feet. If he was 5'11", 6 feet, EJ, I'd be happy as a pig in slop, man. That'd be my perfect guy. But, he's 5'9", built like a brick shit house.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And he brings it. I like that he brings that stature too. There's a lot of guys that are built like that don't run like that, and vice versa. There's tall and skinny guys run like they're 225, and there's, guys that are 5'10", 215, 220, and go down on first contact. So, size is one thing, but he has that size and he brings it. I appreciate that.
EJ, great stuff, my man. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, Bootleg Football's on YouTube. Type it in. Find us there. Again, you can go back and watch all the draft live streams. We've got plenty more content coming up, but there's also pre-draft content. If you're wondering what we said about, a certain player in the draft before they got drafted, you can check that out as well. And the summer series is coming where we dive into every single team in the NFL, give a whole hour on everything: coaching, scheme, additions, losses, and really kind of set it up for the coming season. And then you can find work on Bear Era about the Bears, which is also on YouTube. And again, we'll have some post-draft work, some analysts coming in and saying what they thought. I get to switch chairs with you. I get to host and see what they thought, which is a great, busman's holiday for me. So you can find that work over there as well.
Two things. One of our guys wanted me to ask you about Xavier Carlton, and why he went undrafted. I don't know the position.
Xavier Carlton is a Cal defensive end. I had not watched Xavier Carlton particularly. I watched a ton of the Cal defense because their secondary was amazing. So Noel Williams is a Chief. He's one of the corners. Marcus on the other side was the other corner, got drafted as well. And then Woodson's kid is the safety, Craig Woodson. And he was tremendous. I thought he was a real value. And so I watched the secondary a lot, but I hadn't focused on Xavier Carlton. So I went back and watched him on Sunday. I made it through about 3/4 of a game of Xavier Carlton and said, okay, neat. Appreciate you. Have a good time at camp. He's slow. He doesn't come off the ball very well. I didn't really like what he did with his hands. He's big, but he's going to struggle to make the team, even as a practice squatter.
Okay. Last question before I let you go. Just give me your thoughts on the whole Shedeur Sanders thing. I know you came in when I was going through my little diatribe.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on that whole thing. How, your perspective on why he fell to the 5th round in this draft when he was projected by many teams as a first round pick, and anywhere basically between number 1 overall and 20-ish, and falls to the 5th. Give me your thoughts on that whole situation.
Yeah, I think it was a false expectation, and people that were setting up Shedeur to be a top-rated, top 10 quarterback were not being honest with themselves or being honest with the film. And again, we're going off the film here. I've never met Shedeur. I've seen him from afar. I've certainly talked to a lot of people that interact with him, but I've never met him personally. So just like everybody else, I'm going off the film, and the film is good. He is better than a 5th round quarterback. Let's get that out of the way. He should have been off the board, especially in a quarterback hungry league, somewhere in the 2nd or the 3rd. And the reason why he wasn't selected on day 2, like he should have been, is because he didn't take the process seriously. And the NFL let him know that the process is important to them. So he got invited to an all-star game. He went and did his interviews, which didn't go great, but he didn't play in the all-star game. He didn't practice, right? He was invited to the combine. He didn't throw. He didn't go out and compete, right? He got measured and whatever else. He walked around with his agent, but he didn't get on the field, right? NFL said, okay, there are quarterbacks that don't do that, but the only quarterbacks that don't do that are the ones who are guaranteed talent-wise to go in the top 5 or the top 10. And Shedeur approached the entire process as if he was one of those guys, and he wasn't. He clearly wasn't on the field. He doesn't have that kind of talent. And and I know the NFL will make huge allowances for people who have unlimited talent because they can't be replaced, right? If you're at the top of that scale, if you're a pass rusher and you have unlimited talent and you're a turd, they don't care because you're going to go out and get 10 or 15 sacks and they can't replicate that production. I think the NFL clearly said, hey, man, we can replicate your production. Like, you are valuable, but you are not as valuable as you think you are. And from what I heard, and this was the best thing I heard about it since it happened. One of the great things about doing the draft live stream is we didn't hear all that stuff. We certainly knew it was going on. We were aware that he was falling, but we didn't have to get involved with the narrative that got built around that and kind of really dominated the draft process, which I think is unfair to a lot of other guys. We didn't have to deal with that, which was really nice. So afterwards, as I'm sorting through, I think the best thing I heard about this that sort of clicked and I think can help people understand it is Shedeur approached this entire process as if he was being recruited, like a recruit going to college. Like, why should I bring my services to your team? When you're going into the NFL, that impetus is completely flipped. The team is saying, why should we even hire you? It is a job interview. You talked about it right when I got here. Competition. When you go for a job interview, you're competing. He didn't compete. He sat back and said, sell me on you so I might come to you. That's a fundamental misunderstanding, and one I don't think an agent would have allowed him to have. Look, if Shedeur Sanders had gone out and hired Nicole Lynn, he's off the board in the second round at the latest. Like, she would have made sure he was ready, came correct, and approached this process in a way that would have allowed him to maximize everything he'd done in college, which you outlined. Like, he is a good player. He's not a great player, and he thought he was, but he is a good player, and the league needs talent at his position. That should have matched up somewhere in the second or third round. It didn't, because he basically turned people off in the interviews, and he made some young person mistakes. Like, I've heard some of the stuff he did in interviews. It's dumb. Like, you just look at it and you go, hey, man, that's wrong. Like, you're going to learn, and this is how you learn. And unfortunate, it's going to cost him some money. He's still got the opportunity. Look, what we say is when draft is over, it doesn't matter where you got drafted. Your draft spot is in the past. It's a meritocracy now. You got to play. You got to perform. You got to compete. And if you don't, you'll get dumped. I don't care if you're a first round pick or if you're an undrafted free agent, you're going to get a starting spot, right? You talked about Kyle Pacheco, right? If you demonstrate on the field that you can play, you're getting a spot. And so he's got to kind of get past all this and put his head down and become a good NFL player. And he's got work to do that. Every player coming into the NFL has areas to work on in a game. Shedeur's no different. If he does that, he could have a long and successful NFL career. I'm absolutely sure of it. If he doesn't do that, he won't. And that's that.
Well, again, I hope he was humbled. I hope he understands it's a process and he's not as good as he thinks he is. And I hope he takes it serious, and as I said, it's different with a lot of players, because a lot of them, they're coming from NIL money. They want to do a lot of other things. And even in football, to them might be a vehicle for other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's okay. I get it, because they're thinking about post-football life a lot more than they did 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. People didn't think about that. Now they're setting themselves up. And some people look at that as a detriment, and other people, like Caleb. Caleb started his little, not a hedge fund, he called it an investment firm, right? He's looking at post-football career, you know what I mean? Sure. And I just hope that he's learned, that Shedeur's learned. I really want him to do well, because kind of like, middle finger to all the people who passed up on him. But it's different. It's difficult, man.
There's one way to do that, and it's play well. And I'll tell you a story from last year's draft class, which again is the total different end of the spectrum. And you can tell people in the NFL that you're interested in things after the NFL if you're a really good player. And other than that, you shouldn't say anything about anything besides football. Because I sat with a linebacker last year at an all-star game. And within like 2 minutes on tape in the interview, he was like, yeah, I might play a couple of years and then I'll probably get into media or whatever. And I was like, you didn't say that to the teams, because the teams are right across the hallway doing their interviews, and he'd come from that process. And in my head, I was like, you didn't say that, right? You're a fringe guy. He's the opposite of Shedeur. If you're talking about talent, this is a guy that was maybe going to get drafted in the 6th or 7th round. He's going to be fighting for special teams. Like, this guy has to be a glass eater or else. And he wanders in and says, yeah, I might play football for a couple. I said, when we got done with the interview, I said, A, we can't publish that. And B, he's doomed. He's not going to get drafted.
With that
right?
type of
There's no way. Like, you have to be Caleb to be able to say, oh yeah, I'm interested in investments and, you know, maybe I'll start a music company or whatever else. Like, you have to be elite, and people still don't love it. If you are down the board and you say that as your lead comment, you're putting the nail in your NFL coffin. You might go play in another league. And that guy he didn't end up playing football, and I'm not surprised.
EJ, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. We'll be in touch soon.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity, Sean. Always good to see you.
Love talking to EJ. Thanks, buddy. Bye now. Guy, that's EJ Snyder from NFL Draft Analyst. Man, giving us his take on the Bears draft selections. Okay, and good stuff, man. Make sure you go follow him, and make sure you follow him. I'm anxious to see how it all plays out with our boys. I'm done talking about Shedeur. That's fine. He's not on our team, but socially is what I needed. I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to discuss about him, which is why, what I didn't get to, first of all, let me get this off. It was at the top of the morning, the Shedeur, and it was crazy. Let's go through that real quick. All right, the White Sox lost to the Brewers 7-2 yesterday. Gilbert got the start. He got a no decision. He went 1 inning. All right, 1 innings, gave up a hit, earned a run, a walk, 3 punch-outs, Benintendi 1 for 3 with a homer. His 5th of the year, driving in his 10th. And Robert went back-to-back. He was 1 for 3 with a homer. His 4th, driving in his 9th. The White Sox host the Brewers again tonight. Okay, at the rate. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. Probables for tonight's game, Tobias Myers, right, for the Brewers, 0-0 with a 4.50 ERA, going up against Shane Smith. This guy just got his first win recently, and I'm liking it a lot. He's 1-1 with a 2.30 ERA for the good guys from the South Side. Next half of the morning, top of the Cubs. All right, the Cubs shut out. The Pittsburgh Pirates 9-0 yesterday. Man, it was a ass whooping. They opened up a can of whoop ass on him. Shota Imanaga. He got the win. He got taken out in the 5th. He's 3-1 on the season. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 free pass, 3 punch outs. Seiya Suzuki 3 for 4 with a double. His 6th, a triple. His 2nd, a homer. His 7th. All he needed was the single for the cycle. He had 2 RBIs, driving in his 24th and 25th of the season. Carson Kelly, man, that bright spot for the Cubs. He was 3 for 5 with a homer. His 7th, driving in his 19th, 20th, and 21st runs of the season. Dansby Swanson got off the schneid. He was 1 for 3, hitting a home run. His 5th of the season, driving in his 16th RBI. And King Tustin Tucker. Kyle Tucker was 1 for 4 with an RBI, his 26th of the season. The Cubs are back. They're at Pittsburgh again tonight. First pitch is at 5:40 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 6:70 a.m. The probables for tonight's game: Matthew Boyes 2-2 with a 2.54 ERA for the Cubs, and Pittsburgh is trotting out Carmen Mlodzinski. He's 1-3 with a 6.95 ERA. Whew. Man, good stuff. Listen, I'm going to cut it short. I got to go with the Warden a little earlier today, but I want to thank EJ Snyder for coming on, talking football with me, and giving us his assessment on the Bears draft picks. All right, I'm excited about them. You should be as well as a Bear fan. Some were head scratchers. All right, some were head scratchers. But I trust Ben Johnson. I'm not so good on polls. Excuse me. I'm not so huge on polls, but Ben Johnson, I trust until I can't. And then Dennis Allen, I'll trust him for now. All right. Being a former defensive coordinator at other stops, but also a former head coach. I think he knows what type of players can fit his system, should fit his system. All right. So listen, I'm going to replay this tonight at 6. Okay. So make sure if you missed anything, you tuned in late, that you can check it out tonight at 6 o'clock. All right. Yeah, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. Reach out to your peoples. All right, it's a little cooler today in the 60s. Go grab some drinks, happy hour, grab dinner. All right, do lunch today or tomorrow. Or reach out and make connections, because, man, time moves pretty fast. If you don't slow down and look around, you just might miss it. So don't do that. Make time for your peoples. All right. It's always a good time when you get to catch up with people, family, friends, and loved ones. All right. So I'm out of here. From everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, we appreciate the love and the support. Please make sure you like and share. Like and share this. And I will see you on Friday. All right. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Standard Time. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Sean Sierra. Have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. Your boy is out.